storm clouds moving in. Whatever's gonna happen, it's about to begin. I remember what the drunk donkey told me when he said, son, don't fear. Mike's where the page light is about to begin. Then he's gonna tell you about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you which way it's going, if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news that they try to hide. Just click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Well, there'll always be some haters, but they don't understand that Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan. Drunk Donkey Nation tells your friend Mike, he's your man. Then he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm, if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news that is trying to hide. Look on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation. Yeah, here in Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation.
It's close. Huh? I don't know, man. I don't like this. You want to walk up there or you want to go back? I don't think we can make it.
All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Happy Monday. Anybody got the Monday yawns yet? Kept thinking yesterday was Monday. 2 of my posts I had to edit because I posted Monday radar or something like that. So I don't know where the weekend went. What day it is? What day is it? So yeah, we are live from Oldsmar, Florida. Good to see everybody. Miss Shelley's on the other side of the coast dealing with computer issues. She has never missed a live. I told her, don't worry, Shelley, take the day off. Computer problems are like the worst, especially when you can't boot. Been there, done that, man. We're going to try both dogs today. We'll see how long this lasts. Since we have 2 systems out there, we have Invest 96 and Invest 97. We'll see how long the dogs are getting heavier. I used to have them on here when they were puppies. Now they're, I have 2 puppies. Anybody ever been to Hooters? They're kind of blocking me, but oh well. Oh, Tom got 2 new MWP shirts. That's awesome. What's up, Miss Loretta Reed? Good morning, Agua. What's up, Miss Mary? What's up, Ginger? How's Mary Ann doing? I bet you get that all the time. Melinda, they're kind of twins. I'm trying to get them to be like side by side. There we go. There you go. Hunter, keep your head face. I'm trying to hold them up. They look like twins sometimes. Hunter's actually a little smaller, but they got the same mannerisms. They're Siamese. They snort a lot. What's up, Sarah Miller, Ocala? Oh, man. What's up, Mr. Bob? What's up, Miss Jennifer? What's up, Emily Rose? Maya? How's that go? Yeah, I'm going to do one at a time, then we'll put them down because that ain't working out too good. Let's try it like this. All right. Golly. So I got a little pink eye or something. Man, my eye is like acting up. So I took my contacts out earlier in the day. Jacob, lightweight fishing shirt. That would be a good idea. You know, they do make a dry fit. Maybe I could do one. They're brothers from another mother, but they blended as one. All right, so this is our Daily Brew. It's brought to you by our great friends at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. We love our little morning get-togethers. We streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can always go back and watch a replay. We get a lot of people that watch the replay, especially on YouTube now. Talk about the tropics, talk about the weather, talk about whatever else. Not a lot out there right now. All right, Louie's getting a little anxious. She's like, I don't like this double dog thing. It's BOGO Dog Day. Oh, you go too, Hunter. This did not work out too good today. Now they're all worked up. One dog at a time. We'll continue Monday, Wednesday, Friday with Louie, and Tuesday and Thursday with Hunter. Oh my goodness. So I hope you had a great weekend, whatever you did. We went out on a boat Saturday. It was wonderful. Had my good buddy Jason down from Furman Power Equipment. Remember our official power equipment of Mike's Weather page right here in the very top right. You can get a 30% discount. Click on this link and it automatically applies on checkout. We have a lot of folks that do that, and they have amazing deals right now. You can get a generator for just a few $100. Free shipping. Also available at Lowe's, Costco, Badcock. One of the top market shared generators now in America. Can you believe that? Come a long way. It's good to be tagging along like a caboose. I love them guys. But it was a good day. Saturday was great. Yesterday the girls went school shopping. Oh my God. I probably should have went. I think Emily's got 7 pairs of shoes now, on top of her bucket of shoes from last year. She's a shoe girl. She doesn't wear a lot of shirts. When she wears a shirt, she better wear a shirt. But those are shoes. Got a pair of Hey Dudes she was really proud of. And Sarah's got her first tie shoes. So I'm going to have to teach her how to tie a shoe. We started the process yesterday, and it was so cute. She says, "Really? Really? Wow." And I tried to tie the shoe looking at her. Have you ever tried to do that? I had to turn around and get with her. I couldn't. So, if I can't do it very well, I don't expect her. I'm like, should have just bought Velcro, Julie. Shelly, the wallet is doing all right. I hope. They don't spend a lot, really, compared to other possibilities. NASCAR. What's up, Kelvin? Yeah, NASCAR race was great. NASCAR wasn't too bad. I was happy for my Brad Kozlowski buddy, RFK Racing. All right, so cheers. I got back to a Louis cup. Now, you might be wondering, why is this one blue? I've been drinking out of this same cup for 5 years. We've been drinking out of the same Louis cup. Well, this is Miss Emily's, older Emily's. As you know, Julie's mom passed. We're starting to clean out her house. She used to watch our lives, as my mom still does. And this was in her cupboard. So I figured it would only be fitting to cheers to Miss Emily now and use the blue cup. So if you're a big diehard MWP fan, make sure you pick up your Louis mug in our merch store because it's tradition. It was our first product we ever sold, was a Louis cup. Yeah, all right, so weather talk. EPS, I am going to show that. It's not called Twitter, Kelvin. I know it's called X. It's hard to say it. My eyes drops. I need an eye drop. All right, so here's a rain map, everybody. This is NWC map. This comes out every morning at 8 o'clock Eastern and 2 o'clock Eastern. 2 o'clock a.m., p.m., 8 o'clock 8 a.m. and p.m. 8 Eastern, not Central. I got to put some drops in my eyes. Sorry. Oh. This eye. I'm going to take the contact back out. This is barely going to make it through the day. Whew. All right, so we got 2 things out there. We got 96 in 97. I thought it was going to be a race. According to satellite, right here, let's take a look at a little better picture. Let's look at Weather Nerds. I thought this morning that the system off of the Atlantic might have been a little better organized, basically looking at wind mats and stuff. Here's your latest on Weather Nerds. But it doesn't. They're not expecting it to 20%. So this is the best chance in town to become Emily. Now, this is going this way. This is going this way. Bermuda is not getting anything, as is North America. So, there you go. That's all we got. Got some rain down here in the Caribbean. It's not tropical. Got another wave here that kind of are picking up on, maybe being here next week, but nothing's really showing. There's a lot of dusty, dry air out there still. So, really nothing showing up in the immediate week or so as far as tropics goes. Now, there is a lot of ensemble action I want to talk about in about a week plus coming in off of Africa. We'll get into that here in a little bit. But everybody said that looks like John Madden football chart. Oh, Shelly, you gonna? No, Maria. I know. I think it's a sty because it kind of feels puffy right here. I'll pull the contacts out after the live. It's hard to do the live with my glasses on. I can survive an hour. Got a radio show at noon. I guess that's good. I don't have to worry about looking good. There's a Storm Chaser podcast on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm doing. It's really big on Twitter. I'll share it. Storm Freaks, I think it's called. I'll be on that Thursday at 9. That's live on YouTube, I believe, maybe Facebook too. But it's a big Storm Chaser podcast. And that's Thursday. So I'll make sure to advertise that. It could be fun because it's going to be live interactive with people. I like people. All right, so there's that. There's Africa. So, the interesting thing about 97, you remember when we had this area several days ago? It rode up through the Bahamas. It skirted along Florida, remember, and it got up into Jacksonville. Then it curved out yesterday, and now it's kind of tied into this frontal line. So we've been tracking this for a long time. It had amazing satellite imagery. Remember, it had a lot of spinach as it went across the Gulf Stream several days ago. It actually looked tropical when it was outside of Jacksonville and South Georgia. Then it ended up over Georgia and even over South Carolina. It brought in a lot of storms the last couple of days over the weekend as it pumped in moisture from the Gulf Stream. Then it plopped over and kind of got tied up with that front. Now, this frontal line that we're seeing is the same reason that 97 is curving away. Anytime you get a frontal line, it lifts systems, opens up the door, and it pushes our higher pressure over a little bit. So, the reason that this wave that we're watching down here, which you can't even see, is responding to this frontal line. Now, this frontal line also picked up our low. Kind of hard to get going inside of a strong front line like that. They call it barclonic low. Sometimes they get going. So the fact that it's attached to a low pressure area and it's not independent, the chances are reduced. So it kind of looks good. Now, what else did this front do? Well, listen, it brought some super duper cool weather up here this weekend. We had 50s and 60s all day long in many spots in the Northeast. So it was extremely cool up north this weekend. So that was kind of big news for the Northeast. It was only 82 at Richmond. NASCAR. I love NASCAR to death, but they talk too much. Like, it's 82 out. They're talking about in-car temperature being 135. They're trying to make it so dramatic. But you know what? These guys all have driver suits now, man. It's like, come on. They all got cool suits. Back in the 80s or 90s, they didn't have cool suits. Now they got cool suits, and they're, I don't know. They're just a bunch of whiners. I love NASCAR, but these drivers just whine way too much, in my opinion. They just whine all the damn time. I'm just so sick and tired of it. They just whine. They freaking whine all the time. They whine about this and they whine. I'm whining about them too, but they make millions of dollars. God, they whine all the time. It just, God, it gets so old, man. Then they climb into private jets and fly away. Not like the old school. All right. So let's roll into a lot of things here. All right. So let's talk about the tropics are quiet. Now I'm going to talk about some long range stuff. All right. Let's take a really good look. So if you have the app, if you have the webpage, obviously Invest 97, all the graphics are here. Tropical Tidbits is our go-to site for models and more, along with Weather Nerds. Weather Nerds satellite imagery here showing what it looks like this morning. So there's, tied to that front, a lot of convection, kind of bally looking, looks good. Just not enough to deem it independent and tropical. So that's it. I mean, there's bubbling thunderstorms. It's right off the coast. There's probably some circulation. Same thing that goes with 96. Same amount of convection, I think, is the two of them together, but they're giving this 96 a better chance. Now, if you look at the wind rate map, I was a little surprised, but, well, now, wait a minute now. What am I looking at here? Make sure I didn't screw up. I got to make sure that that is what they're calling center. Where the hell is the damn thing at? Where did it go? Way up top here. Oh, here it is. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Yeah. Right off Carolina. Yeah. Hard to tell if that's the main circulation or not. I mean, it's obviously tied to a frontal line. You can see it. This is a big old frontal line. But it's trying to close off. You can see the 850 winds right there. So, I mean, it's off the Carolina coast. I got confused there for a minute. Didn't know where the Outer Banks was. But, I don't know. It looks pretty darn good to me. But anyway, go down here to 97. Well, that was 97. This is 96. It looks like less chances of a close low on 97 as far as winds go. I just would have thought that they would have had more chances for 97. I'm so confused. This is 96. 96. So, a little circulation. Not the best organized little system out there. Here's all that wind shear, by the way. The lower level winds blowing through the Caribbean right now. This is what drives our systems westward if we were to get anything. Low level winds. Upper level winds are coming in the other direction. So all kinds of chaos in the Caribbean right now. That'd be a good weather headline. Chaos in the Caribbean. Chaos crisis. Same word. All right, so there you go. That's it. Boom, boom. Right? Got that big high pressure right here. See it? Spinning away. High pressure. Big talk, too. I'm not going to get into it too much today, but there's a lot of chit-chat about the high pressure over the southwest and how high it's going to be and how hot. Not so much heat, just high pressure signature at the 500 millibar level. So if you're into all that kind of stuff, persistent high pressure out here in the south. I mean, look at Phoenix, man. They've had like a record number of days at 110 degrees, right? Jason will tell you that. All right. Let's look at some long-range tropic stuff. So, 7-day map, new this year from the National Hurricane Center. This goes out 7 days. If they don't think there's anything developed in the next 7 days, they won't mark it. So anything past 7 days, that's where we kind of look at. Real quick, though, I want to get into local weather. No, let's talk about local weather. Just bear with me. But local weather in a little bit because we got some storms today to talk about brewing, especially across the Florida Peninsula. All right. So I teased this in the Brew Crew this morning. We have a little private chat room for our Brew Crew members. Also, Twitter finally started doing subscriptions, so I'll also show the same thing over there. Let's say some highs real quick for everybody. Hey, Eric, my buddy Eric, did you see the Rays finally won, man? It's like they're doing football scores, man. They go from behind by 2 touchdowns and they win by a touchdown. Hey, what's up, Mr. Jonathan? South Carolina, it's Miss Liz Goodyear. You're welcome. Thank you. Colleen, correct. Let me tell you one thing about tropics. And I got another email this morning. Everybody does this, and my neighbor across the street hit the nail on the head because I say it every year. And this is the human element of hurricane season, right? May. We actually get tropics starting in May a lot. People get a little like, oh man, season's here. June 1st comes around. Every media, including me, first day of hurricane season, everybody's like amped up. There's tax-free holidays. People are out there buying stuff tax-free, right? Then all of a sudden July comes around and tropics die like nothing. Been that way forever. People get this lull in their gut like, oh my God, the season's a bust. Oh, they blew that forecast. Season's over. And then August comes around. Sometimes we don't get anything. We didn't have anything in August last year. We didn't have anything last year, July or August last year. We had 60 days of no name system. 60 days. Nothing. And then, boom, late August hits. September. The 1948 hurricane that hit Tampa. Late September. 2 hurricanes that hit my area, 21 and 48, I think, or 6, I think it was 48. I don't know, 65. I don't know when it was. But they were October. All the big storms and at least majority of storms that are bad are more September, October. So don't get locked into that thinking the season's slow in July or even August. I just have to remind people of that because I get that feeling from so many people. Like, man, what's going on? Number one thing people can say to me when I see people, man, what's going on? The season's a bust. What's going on? There's nothing. The season's dead. What's going on? Well, it's July. Happens. So we do have some signatures of some stuff long range. All right, so eventually the dusty, dry air lightens up. Typically in August, we start getting less and less dry air across the main development region. Waters are getting hotter. So we're going to get waves. There's no doubt about it. The big question is going to be the steering mechanism. Now, we saw this week's front line, right? Here's that front, and it opened up a gap, pushed away our high pressure system a little bit, and it allowed 96 to curve. Well, what happens when our high pressure system returns? Well, anything that forms is going to have less chance to recurve and might become more of an issue down the road. Now, we've been showing a lot of history over the last several months, and when you have El Nino years, typically Western Caribbean is very slow, very inactive. Get a lot of wind shear in the Western Caribbean. A lot of wind shear. We're seeing it right now, a lot of wind shear. But we also see in El Nino years this being a hot spot for development. I don't know if the high pressure system gets shoved off a little bit more, allowing more of a turn. But if you follow me, we did a lot of history in the off season. In a lot of the El Nino years, we saw storms lifting up around the Caribbean and becoming more of an issue in Western Atlantic, continental U.S. I don't have any proof to this. It's just history, and we'll see. Of course, the Gulf, you always worry about the Gulf. Always. Regardless of El Nino or not. So what we're seeing here in the long-range Euro, nothing solid, of course. You go out 7 days, nothing. You're starting to get little hints of a wave. I saw some discussion. There's already some vorticity maps over Africa showing some systems way over in Africa right now that possibly might be trying to develop, which I believe Levi here on Tropical Tidbits has Africa. We're going to look at Northern Africa. Okay. So, this is Africa on tropicaltidbits.com. And do we even have... Oh, we got to go to regular Euro. 850. So, I think the discussion was that we're starting to see possibility. It might be this little guy right here, actually. You can kind of see it. There's a little storm here coming off north of the islands. A little high. But this general area right here is showing some rotation. Not as strong as it was yesterday. But sometimes you can follow a storm coming across Africa, and when it exits here would be Wednesday. So possibly this little guy right here, showing some spin. There's another one back here. This is sometimes where you can start to look at Africa to see if we're going to get any waves to talk about as they exit off Africa. So anyway, the discussion was that, and if you look at long range modeling, we're starting to see signs that we might have a little something coming across and not lifting. So that's way too far to share too much. I talk about things on the Brew Crew or in our live daily brew just because that's our diehards. But this could be 10 days out, long way away. We look at 10 days. So middle of next week could have a wave near somewhere here. But down the road, we're starting to see some ensemble support that maybe this thing might try to develop in the Western Atlantic. And yesterday's 12Z kind of did the same thing. So, not putting money on it. We're just always looking at what's next. I look at models, look at the theory behind the models, and this makes sense. This could be the next little spot to watch. So we'll see what the afternoon model runs do, but it's interesting to note yesterday's 12Z suite had one of our waves pushing a little bit more northwest and overnight. So that got my attention up just a little bit. And of course yesterday's 00Z didn't. So 2 consecutive runs isn't guaranteed, but at least it's something that we can say, maybe there's something there down the road, a week plus. I don't even know why I waste my time looking at the GFS, but let's take a look at the GFS. There's a couple showing the same thing. Week out, 7 days, there it is. 7 days from now. 10 days. So, it makes sense. 7 days. Well, no, let's do a 7 to make it look right. 7 days, 10 days. This would be this time next week. This would be middle of next week. That if that wave that's rolling off of Africa does anything. That's 10 days. So, yeah, I feel confident to mention it. For sure. So let's say 10 days. Let's just get an idea. All right, 10 days from now, somewhere around here, right? All right, so let's go back to Tropical Tidbits. Let's look at some upper air patterns in 10 days and start to get into a feeling of what might be happening in 10 days for upper air. So 10 days from now, we have somewhat of a high pressure system. Here, see that? So there is a high showing up 10 days from now. So if we did have anything down here, we could have a high to the north supporting not that. Because high pressure steer our system, so it could be believable. We have something, here. Now there's a gap coming Thursday, but there's also a ridge to the north. So these are things we'll start looking at. Steering mechanisms, high pressure, 10 days from now. Long way away. But anyway. Your dust forecasts, kind of hard going out that far. They seem like after about 5 days they're not really trustworthy. But we have a pretty big plume right now that came off. Look at that. That was the one that's following that wave that we were kind of watching last week. But there's the latest plume coming off today. And then we get into next week. The Atlantic's not as bad. I mean, there's definitely less than there is today. There's a lot more today and tomorrow than middle next week. Or this time next week. This time next week. So anyway, dust maps are hard to figure, but it does look like a little less coming next week. Still there though. All right. That's about it for that 5 day. Well, obviously these maps are cool. We haven't used a lot of these this year, but these are probability maps. I like them a little bit. They talk about probability chances. There's obviously both our systems getting a lot of love for development. Makes sense. Right. Let's see what kind of wave. Well, it's a frontal line. I don't know. Let's take a look at the wind or waves at least for coming off of our invests for the U.S. here. Let's see. I don't think we'll have anything. Nah, nothing really. I didn't think we would. As the storm's pulling away like that, it's not really putting any winds or waves towards the East Coast. There could be a little leftover, and maybe midweek. Might get a little increased surf action here across the East Coast. Nothing in the Gulf, obviously. It's very, very, very calm in the Gulf and Bahamas. But we might get a little leftover Wednesday, Thursday from our system as it pulls away. So if you're curious about the surf, you know, I don't talk about the surf enough, but anyway. Left eye, Shelly. Oh, righty. Oh, they said right eye. Brian Morris from New Smyrna Beach. What's going on? Richard, how's it going, New Galley? That's right, Brian. Rick, I like it. Nathan says a lot of Orlando thunderstorms last night. Major Hurricane Zeta. Yes. I just posted pictures of that actually over on X. Right here. So here is some pictures from Zeta when I was storm chasing. By myself, I might add. Remember Shelly? Shelly, on Twitter yesterday, I shared the story of turning the corner and seeing storm surge on a little back road. Remember? And I believe, if history proves me right, I turned off Interstate 10. You called, and I probably was being stubborn. And everybody that was local in our chat said, don't go down that road because there's going to be a lot of surge. Well, guess what? There was a lot of surge. And I had to do a quick lock the brakes up, come back. But here's some of the pictures. This showing you the nighttime hazards, why you don't want to drive in a hurricane. But there's a pole down there, and then there, obviously the train track sign down. This is a good one. Big tree and a power pole blocking the road. This is an interesting one. Power lines on the ground. Power lines draping ahead. And this is my most eerie drive ever. Was, do you go under that or not? Would you drive under that? Knowing that they're all cracked. That was a little hairy, I must admit. Seeing telephone poles snap like that and hanging on, that was a little interesting. But yeah, I was up there for Zeta. Zeta was a major hurricane. That's a busy year, man. 2020 had a lot of stuff that year. Okay, let's talk about today, especially here in the southeast. So, storms today. Oh, they actually pushed it over a little bit more towards me today. Interesting. All right, so we got a line of storms that are popping across the south. Might get down in Louisiana. These aren't showing up as much as these are, especially right here. A lot of storms in the peninsula. Very low tornado chances today. Mainly just thunderstorms today. Wind. So we got storms popping. Pop, 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 pop. So we got a west wind again. I shared a picture earlier talking about Florida West Coast rain totals rain totals are down. I shared that too, but temperatures are near record for the month of July for most our counties here in the west central Florida. And that is because we've had a persistent Gulf high that has pushed in winds from the west, limiting our rain chances, thus keeping temperatures warm. So we've had this strong west wind. Now we had some rain on the radar today. I don't think it's made it ashore though. Some of it might sneak across, maybe. Dottie says we need rain in Chiefland. We just drove through Chiefland on our way back from Panama City. Hey, Don said they had a massive pop-up storm in Charlotte last night. I believe it. Man, it was hot like this. Jason was warning me. I was right by your house, Jason. You know the picture that I'm talking about? I shared it on Twitter. I don't know if that was freshwater surge or what, but it was a little scary. Morning, Jennifer. Thank you for your stars. Nova Scotia, Darcy. I don't think this system's going to reach you there in Nova Scotia. A lot of that rain, David. Hey, what's up, buddy? Yeah, a lot of that rain yesterday in the Carolinas was tied into this frontal line, along with leftover Invest 97. Oh, by the way, the warranty saga. I tried again today. Nothing. Same crap. You know how I feel about this right here. So I was going to go to the BBB because everybody said go to the BBB. I've given them a week trying all their, sorry, not available. Sorry, not available. Sorry, something's wrong. But they had all positive reviews on the BBB. So I went to Twitter. They have a Twitter account. Lo and behold, I emailed them back on the email they sent me. Email not valid. I'm like, that's not a good sign. So I on Twitter they said reach us out on Twitter support. So I did. We'll see if they answer. I'll give them a chance. For those of you tracking. See, it's like a soap opera when you watch our Daily Brew. If you miss a show, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Anyway, what's up, South Florida, Jarrett? Nova Scotia had 300 millimeter rain. How do you say you're from Nova Scotia without telling us you're from Nova Scotia? Because you said 300 millimeters of rain. Tom, hey, I'm glad you're loving your Tempest. Everybody that gets the Tempest loves it. I tell you, I can't wait for us to go into storm chase mode. I kind of miss it. All right, so let's talk about the rains today. All right, so there's a line of rains coming up through Missouri here, going down to south through Arkansas and Louisiana. What we're going to focus on more than anything is Louisiana, obviously. We're going to have storms coming in from the north. Watch the storms popping here in Florida today. We're going to have some sporadic storms across the southeast, basically because of that frontal line that's draped over us. And you can see the frontal line really good if you look at the water vapor map here, which I love. I love me a good water vapor loop in the morning. Here it is. Water vapor loopage. Loop, loop. All right. So there's our frontal line. Look at the dry air. Got a secondary little line there too. But yellow is dry, cool air. But there's also going to be some instability in behind it. So 2 areas of storms popping here. Out ahead of this dry area here with some storms on the backside. And then here, look at all this juice here coming up through. So we got basically 3 players today. You got this little guy, and then this Gulf juice coming in, west winds. So here's what you got. So, very spontaneous rains through this region today. It's not really showing up too heavy, but watch Florida, man. I mean, we got some pop-up storms across the whole southeast here, but Florida really showing some storms today. And I posted this late last night too, so you can see very random storms across the south. So these could get quite strong. There's going to be a lot of isolated little cells across the upper Gulf, Louisiana, Mississippi, Carolinas, Virginia. There's going to be a lot of little isolated cells today, but this is interesting. Florida really got some popping today. We'll see that throughout the day. So some of these could make the coast. What's interesting is the Storm Prediction Center originally had it all like this. Now they've extended it almost to the Florida West Coast, and you can see why. Because we could see a good little storm popping here 2-3 o'clock this afternoon, right across Tampa Bay. But watch these get going across the I-75 interstate, 3-4 o'clock right here, and they're going to be going eastward, eastbound and down. Load it up and truck it. Look at that. Big old storms this evening. So expect some pretty decent thunderstorms today. Unfortunately, not a lot for the Florida West Central Coast here, as we are in a drought mode. Everybody else going to get those infamous Florida afternoon storms. And some of these look pretty intense. Very interesting. Let's check out the lightning. Lightning. You can see as they get going today. So we got some good little thunderstorms today. A lot of energy in the atmosphere today. Look at that. That's going to be a good little line of lightning this afternoon later. If I get bored, I might just pop over there. I don't know. God, it's just been so boring over here. Man, we have nothing but high pressure in the skies. So there's a good fair bit of lightning showing up. A lot of energy, Cape. There's this kind of amount of energy in the atmosphere showing you that. So yeah, it's gonna be a pretty strong day. Just normal thunderstorms, nothing obviously tornadic, but interesting. We'll see. We'll see. A lot of precipitable water in the air. A lot of this was last week. We were showing this frontal line. This is the amount of juice. Of course, I had to restart it. So precipitable water is the amount of moisture in the air. And you can see where the front's at. There she is. It's not a cold front. It was for up north. But this is the amount of moisture in the sky today. And you can see a lot of moisture. Red is a lot of moisture. Hey, you know who else is getting a lot of moisture, I read? Colorado. Colorado might be getting a lot of rain incoming. I don't know when exactly, but they were talking about their PWatt values being extremely high. And I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe right here, maybe midweek. So I don't know. Maybe that's a lot for them. Doesn't look like a lot to me, but okay. I'll stick to Florida. Oh man, another heat map just came out. Let's leave it up there. I gotta go on a soapbox. Piston Cup. What is that? Core. I got some softball highlights coming out. James, if you're watching, Mom and Dad are going up PA again. My dad's a lot funny. He's always like, "It's our last trip." It might be. 85 years old. We're going to go to Cody's on Tuesday. Christopher Vaughn, come to Palm Bay, have a drink. The problem is, Christopher, I would love to, but then I never come home. So, I got a 3-hour trip home. I got to be wired and ready to roll, man. Getting nurses, I think it's a sty coming. It's like hurts around here a little bit. Kind of hurts to blink. Maybe it was worse yesterday, but I was outside working a lot. Maybe I got an allergy, like right there. Not red. Usually it gets red when I get pink eye. Anything else we can talk about? Been rambling on for a while. This is the heat. Brian, it is super duper hot. So I don't know what it is. Listen, I am the most non-controversial person. I try to be anyways. Oh, look at that. Shelly sent me some pictures. You know, I think that is what I just took. Oh, I use Blink. She's sending me eye drop pictures. That's funny. I posted a heat map, and it's hot. I'm not talking climate. I don't know if it's two things. One, I haven't been drinking a lot lately. I've been doing really good. I do when I go out. It's like that Luke Combs song. I still party with the boys when I want to, but I'm trying to be good. And I'm doing good. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm feeling great. I'm not as much as I used to. So I know it wasn't the beer coming out yesterday, but it was so hot in Tampa. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, so you knew there was a high pressure locked over us, right? And it has that. When you have a high pressure in Florida, it's like the most intense heat ever because you have humidity and high pressure. And all my neighbors said the same thing. I had a black tool on my boat I was working on. I had to change a tire. I touched it. I swear I burnt my hand. It was so hot. So living in Florida my whole life, when I say it's hot, it's just hotter than I remember. I mean, that's just the way it goes. And then the National Weather Service today came out and verified July is going to probably be the hottest ever for most everybody in West Central Florida. So it was a hot July. But if you track these maps, hazardous heat, I don't know what it means. If we've always had them, I don't know what it means, except we're still going to be under hazardous heat until 8/4 at least. That's another 5 days. So there you go. There's a heavy rain, 8/2, 8/3. That's what we were just talking about. So they are expecting heavy rain out there in Colorado, north. There it is. Huh, okay, I should have just looked at that. Long range past that. Let's look at next week for any sort of temperature. And let's see what the long range excessive heat map looks like. So this is what it looks like on a... so this is 8 to 14 days. This is starting next week to the following week, not this week coming up. And you can see slight risk hot, moderate risk, dark red is really hot in Texas and Louisiana. So this is the following week. This is like 8 in the middle part of August. Heat map. And there's excessive heat, 8/5, 8/7. So we might have a little break coming following next week. Now enough about the heat. Temperature maps, water anomalies, they're hot. We talk about that all the time. Let's not talk about that anymore. Hey, the Keys water cooled down. That's good news. A lot of thunderstorms down there. So no more of those wild weather temperature anomalies down south. Rainwater's definitely cool things off. Still 90s in a lot of spots, though. 91 in Clearwater. Whew, that's hot. So 91.2 in Clearwater Beach. That's pretty hot. 92 in Tampa Bay. That's hot. That's because we haven't had any rain and we have very little wind. 88 in Cape Coral. 89 down in Naples. So it's still hot. Didn't cool down much. 90. 91. Okay. Maybe I lied. It didn't cool down that much. Garfield Bright yesterday hit 93, 94. Okay. Still hot. Came back quick. Oh God, it's 89 down in Key West. Yesterday it hit. Then never went to 90 yesterday. Close to 90, 89. So anyway, the water's hot. I don't know. I'm not a climate guy. Just no, 90's hot. 88's a perfect number. Texas, I think Texas had a couple 90s going. I know they're really hot over there too. Want some water, or some rain. Here's 91.6 Rockport. Yesterday it got up to 93 in Rockport, Texas. Louisiana had some 90s not too long ago. 90 here. That's kind of more shallow water. Pensacola, Panama is still the coolest place ever. Look at the swings of Panama. It's incredible. Panama was 76 when we were up there. Look at these temperature swings. I mean, it's just unheard of. So it's 83 right now. Yesterday it got up to 88, right? Let's go back like the 21st. Here we go. Here's some days. Yeah, so look at this. Like, it was down to 77 last Monday. And you can see it slowly coming up. I don't even know when we were there. We're plotting some more data here. 77, 75. That's probably when we were there. 75.7. Oh, God, that was cold. 75.6. How low did it go? How low did it go? 75. Looks like 75. 75. Oof. Well, it is warming up slowly. 75 is chilly. I was cold. I was shriveled. More ways than one. 103 in Lake Charles. Are you kidding me, Robert? Lake Charles, home of Hurricane Laura. Hey, James Fort, got your little message there. I appreciate it. I don't know for sure if I got it or not. I'm going to take him out to be safe anyway. Wind shear's, Tom Baffett. Wind shear is strong in the Caribbean. Everywhere else is pretty light. Joe Harrison, I did see the pod at Orcas in the Keys. That was odd. Oh, boy, we're talking about comments go sideways. Yeah, I do. The comments go sideways. I just over it all. I just sit and do my TikToks now. Yep. All right. Cool. All right. We got a little interview today. I'm excited about it. I'll post my Thursday gig. We got a Storm Chaser podcast called Storm Freaks. That'll be fun. If you didn't catch the USF article, they got a big article coming out, which I'm excited to see. They did some videos, so that'll be my next fun thing to see coming out. We'll see what kind of how they spun the Mike's Weather Page story a little bit. They did a really nice little video yesterday. So my attention span is going to be focused on the afternoon models and the ensembles, and we're going to take a look at the Euro and the GFS. We'll see if there's anything potentially brewing. Things look quiet for the next week. So there you go. Frontal line kind of lingers overhead. Look at that Gulf high, though. Yuck. That's tomorrow. That keeps the wind flow. If you say Gulf high, too, you can kind of see it. It's really fascinating to see, but let me show you what it looks like. I don't know if this one goes out on time or not. Let's go to windy. Wendy.com. All right, so you're high. Let's go to, we'll go up a little higher than that. Let's go to 850 maybe. All right, so tomorrow, there's our high setting up tomorrow. And you can just see the winds, A, are stagnant, but B, they just kind of weak wind pattern, and that pretty much develops storms more over the middle parts of the state and go that way. So that this Gulf high that we've had has just been persistent and hanging out over that Gulf, this very stagnant wind flow, and there's just nothing in sight for it to change. So there's just not a lot of weather pattern. Now let's look at rain totals, just for 7-day rain totals. By this time we normally see a lot more, obviously, in the south, but just look at Texas. Holy cow, man! Texas sticking out like a sore thumb. They're gonna get you talk about a high pressure system's locked overhead. They got a big one coming, and that's keeping things dry for at least a week. Almost nothing for Texas in a week. Wow. That is a huge dome of high pressure. Now, Tropical Tidbits shows it very well. If we look here, this has been a hot topic I've been seeing discussed a lot lately, and that would be the upper 500 maps here. Let's see if I can get a good one on there. Maybe it's this one. All right, so let's see if we see a good one, kind of showing. So there you go. This is through the week. So the darker the reds, the bigger the high. And it just parked over Texas all week. They ain't going nowhere. You see 10 days from now, like we were talking about, if we were to get something 10 days from now, you can see where it would not have much escape to go north. So definitely keeping an eye on this time next week. You can't see it right there. I got red color. I don't want to change the color because then I'll never get it back. But this goes on the line of 10 days from now when we were talking about that wave possibly, Monday of next week right here, or Wednesday. Monday was middle. Well, now I gotta verify myself. I think it was Wednesday, near in the islands. The 10th. Yeah, 10 days from now. Yeah, midweek. All right, so midweek. So around Wednesday. And we're starting to see signs of high pressure. So unless it occurs here, the likelihood of it going here are getting better. If there is even an it. Is there going to be an it? I don't know. Still hoping they fix this whole Twitter list thing. I'm not giving up. Not giving up. All right, cool beans. Well, hey, what else we talk about? Karen from St. Croix. You got some. Hey, you got St. Croix. We got a lot of friends down there. You guys are getting little storms this morning, aren't you? Look. Look at this little. So is it raining down there, Karen? You getting a little rain down there in the Virgin Islands? Little spinoff from Invest 96, but nothing organized. I swear. Oh, now. Oh my God. Who said that? I'm not going to respond. Everybody Everybody interprets things differently. Is the glass half full or is it half empty? Anyway, all right. Little rain. Looks like a little rain there. Yep, I see it, Karen. Little rain. There you go. It's coming. You got more coming. All right. Well, let's see. What else can we pump a little bit? All right. So obviously TikTok. I've been doing a TikTok video every day. It's going bonkers. So if you're into that, make sure you check it out. I do a little 1 or 2 minute video every day. Of course, our YouTube live's going great. There's really no point to do little afternoon quickies unless there's something really imminent. Only problem I'm finding out with YouTube is a lot of the videos, unless you watch the live, you're looking at old data. So like, you run across a video from 3 days ago and it's kind of not pertinent anymore. So the lives are really taking off. Our average viewership on the YouTube is almost the same as Facebook now. So the lives are working good there. So that's cool. We got a couple new cruisers this weekend I saw. So we're almost ready to start closing it off realistically. So check things out there if you're a big Weather Page fan and like to party and have a good time and bring your family during spring break in Florida, especially. I don't know when the spring breaks are for everybody else, but spring break in Florida is this week for most everybody. So tremendous time, 3rd annual. Talking to Jason about it this weekend. Furman's the big part of it. Check that out. And I got my gear site. I was working on the women's shirt a little bit better. For some reason, the new design wasn't showing up on a couple, so I made a whole new section on the new season shirt. So that's the hot shirt of the year. Two-sided with all the names on it. Still way away from peak season, so we're waiting on Emily. Emily's the next name on the list. Franklin, Gert, Harold, Idalia, Jose, Katie, Lee, Margot, Nigel, Ophelia, Felipe, Renee, Sean, Tammy, Vince, Whitney. Only takes one. So there you go on the top of the page. Shop NW Gear for all that. Number one question I always get is, where do I get a shirt? So there you go. That's where you go. And it's 222 days of the cruise, I hear. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. 222. All right. Keep an eye on the radar today. The only thing I'm really anxious about, we're going to keep an eye on the radar today for basically Florida Peninsula's got the heaviest storm showing. Everybody else is isolated summertime stuff. Rest of the week, not seeing much. It's actually pretty quiet. Look at this. Look at day 2. Almost nothing for the storms tomorrow. Going to Wednesday, up north again. Day 4 to day 8, nothing showing. So, could be a quiet few days ahead. Good time for Shelly to get her computer fixed. All right. Cool. Have a great day, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks to ABC. Fine Wine and Spirits, of course, our local supporter here for our lives is Done Right Roofing. I shared yesterday one of their great blogs on preparing your roof for a hurricane. So check that out online. And we will see everybody tomorrow, Tuesday. All right? Halloween's right around the corner. You, Dave Barrio, you know it's right around the corner because I get a spirit Halloween email every day. I love it. But I just got one. Look. I just got a Spirit Halloween email. Look at this. New animatronic. Look. This came in email. Literally. As you said, Halloween is X amount of days away. I got an email from Spirit Halloween. Some things are like traditions that we just love. See you guys and gals tomorrow.